Welcome to the School of Love, the place where miracles are normal. Hello and welcome to the School of Love, the place where we learn practical tools based on scientific research towards improving ourselves, living life to its fullest, and contributing to the best of our abilities to the world around us. I'm Dr. Maria Grajdian, and I'm a professor of media studies and anthropology at Hiroshima University. In my free time, I'm doing my best to guide you in building up a life of contentment, joy, and fulfillment while applying lessons learned in school to overcome the difficulties, challenges, and insecurities of the real world. In today's video, I talk about the situation in which you are dealing with a procrastinator and what to do about it. We all know those persons who promise to do things and then eternally postpone. But how to deal with them when none of Eckhart Tolle's solution, change, accept, or leave are possible? In this video, I start with the definition of procrastination and some of its causes, and then deliver a 5-step protocol which helps you learn to deal with procrastination in others, so that by the end of the video, you will have a complete protocol for dealing with procrastination in others if you choose to do so. This is not about healing them, it's about learning how to deal with them. The way they are because after the age of 35, nobody changes unless they want to and decide to, and this happens very, very seldom. While I used to be a typical procrastinator in the past, I conversely had to deal and still have to deal with many procrastinators of all degrees, from the mild cases of those fulfilling their promises and tasks with a minimum delay after repeated reminders and encouragement, through the annoying cases of those who, way beyond delay, would find alternative ways to deliver on their promises, tasks, up to what I would label the pathological procrastinators, who would never fulfill their promises, tasks, but nevertheless kept on promising. This 5 steps protocol has helped me, although it took years to get rid of my procrastinating habits, and as if by miracle, it helped me deal with all sorts of procrastinators without hating them in the process. As always, the solution starts with oneself. And now, first things first, that is 2 important disclaimers. The first disclaimer serves to strongly emphasize the fact that this YouTube channel, the School of Love, is not part of my educational and research activities at Hiroshima University. It is nonetheless part of my privilege, joy, and sense of duty to propagate and implement knowledge, information, as well as motivation and inspiration outside the limited framework of academic endeavors. Together, we can build up a better tomorrow for as many of us as possible. The second disclaimer relates to the fact that I am a trained musician and musicologist, not a psychologist, therapist, or counselor. The ideas I am sharing in my videos reflect my deep-going preoccupation with life, my own life and other people's lives, and express the results of my experience, research, and for better or for worse, my failures and my recovery from those failures. Recovery which is still ongoing. The ideas expressed in the videos on this channel named The School of Love cannot and may not and must not replace the consultation with specialists in whichever areas of your life you might have questions or you might struggle with. If you are new to this channel, at this moment I would like to ask you to please consider subscribing, sharing, liking, commenting. Thank you very, very much. This helps us not only with that mysterious algorithm, which seems to dominate the YouTube galaxy, but also with contributing to the expansion of the community of humans doing their best to impact positively the world and those around them by discovering their authentic selves and living life wholeheartedly. Thanks again. And now let's go back to today's topic, which is what happens when you deal with procrastination in other people and how to deal with it. So what is procrastination? Procrastination is this habit people have, a very annoying one, to promise things and then not to follow through. We all have been at some point in our lives procrastinators, maybe only as small children, but we have been there. But in time, when the older we get, the more mature we get, the more we grow up, the more we tend actually to become reliable and to keep our word. So keeping one's promise, keeping one's word is one of the fundamental fabrics of our society. So we learn to do that. And those who don't, they are ostracized. So they cannot really live within the society. Well, I have a different video about what happens and what to deal with yourself, oneself being the procrastinator. This video is about how to solve the problems how to solve the situation when people you deal with are procrastinators. And this is not only in a workplace setup, but also for instance, in a family setup, in a very intimate relationship. Let's say you're dating someone, you start dating someone, and only in the first place they are very on their best behavior, and afterwards they start promising things and then postponing and procrastinating, and every time you try to address this, they become a kind of, well, not really aggressive, but defensive. They become defensive and telling, yeah, this is who I am and I don't know, and well, it's not your role to repair someone or to educate someone, particularly if you're in your late 20s, 30s, 40s or 50s. But these people have this ability of making you feel as if they will do what they say they will do, and they're not even saying I'm not doing it anymore, letting you down altogether. They just postpone it, and it never happens. So what can you do about it? So the first step is to be aware. This is a problematic, particularly if you're emotionally involved. So if you actually care about this person, first, second, if you're in a workplace setup, how do you deal with people who do not fulfill their promise? And not only they don't fulfill that, they don't keep their word, they keep on postponing it. So how do you deal with that? So awareness, and you have to accept it. If you have to accept the fact that people are the way they are, and you might not like that they are procrastinating, but it is what it is. And don't even start to talk about it. You can tell them, look, I'm not happy with the way you solve your problems, or you solve your work, your tasks. I'm not happy with the way you make promises, and then you still keep on postponing it. But this is where actually the discussion ends. And then you have to identify the trigger in yourself. So if you're in an intimate relationship with a procrastinator, particularly of the bad sort, or if you in a workplace, you have to ask yourself, so are there all the tasks that he or she is procrastinating, or only some tasks? And then as a solution, give them only try to give them only the tasks that they're not procrastinating. So this is one point, is to see when this procrastination mechanism kick in and the person simply does not follow through. But on the other hand, identify the parts where the payoff, the rewards, the parts where they are really good, where they do not procrastinate in a workplace setup. In an intimate relationship, you'll actually observe quite quickly if the person is a procrastinator. Really, there are few things more difficult to deal with than with a procrastinator, because they do not let you down properly, but they keep you hanging. I've been on the receiving end of procrastination. And you find yourself at some point simply waiting, months and years go by and nothing changes. So, just if you can, when you can, disentangle you as soon as possible. It doesn't really help. You can look for ways to talk to them, but it never helps. And they will become defensive, and they will promise to change, or they will try to break off things, but in the end probably they wouldn't. They say, yeah, I'm breaking up, and then you have them at your gate, at your door, I will break up later, but they're not even this they're able to do. So dealing with a procrastinator is one of the most frustrating really experiences in life, And the only way to deal with it is actually by cutting them off. And I might seem as cold-hearted. If they are part of your family, meaning if they are your children or your parents or your grandparents or your cousins, if they are your children, they are your product. So look inside when it happened, when it started. And maybe you model that behavior and they are simply emulating your behavior. If they are not your immediate family, deal with them seldom and put very clear boundaries on the time spent with them and on the circumstances. If they're workplace relationships, again, try to deal with them as seldom as possible, and do not entrust them with any important tasks because they won't follow through. If it's about an intimate relationship, ending it is probably the only valid option. Trying to change a person never works. Trying to accept it, again, it's like waiting for Godot. This is a theatrical work by Chekhov, a Russian writer, and he talks. He is called Waiting for Godot, and it's someone who never shows up. They don't even know if that Godot, the character, exists, but the two persons keep on waiting for him, and the waiting and hoping is never a solution. So rather, count your losses, cut it off, and move on. On the other hand, it is important to be grateful for having dealt with such a person. Grateful meaning, well, it showed you the limitations of who you are. It showed you the challenges you yourself might have represented for others, or might still represent for others. Procrastinators have sometimes this ability to function as a mirror, to show us what we think we want, and actually by not getting it, we cling even more eagerly to it and are even less able to let it go. Now, dealing with a procrastinator is on the one hand, a frustrating experience. On the other hand, is an enriching experience, because it shows, as I said, it shows you sides of yourself which you otherwise wouldn't have access to. So be grateful for the experience as much as you can. And in time, you'll be able to forgive them as well. The same goes, I have a different video for that with liars, which is again one of that category of humans which exists in the society. We cannot get rid of them. They are part of the colorful fabric of the society. We have to accept them, but protect us as much as possible by not dealing with them. So that would be from me for today. Thank you for listening to me. I hope I have delivered some insightful ideas. And as always, I'm looking forward to welcoming you very soon again. Love and peace to you all.